Milk is an essential component of the diet of approximately 6 billion people. The world production of milk reaches 730 million tons per year. Milk is a widely consumed beverage that is essential to the diet of several millions of people worldwide because it provides important macro and micronutrients. Milk is recognized as being useful during childhood and adolescence because of its composition. Dairy plays a significant part in numerous aspects of Indian society, including cuisine, religion, culture, and the economy. India is first among all countries in both production and consumption of milk. India is a country known for the unique taste of milk products. Amul milk and milk products have paved a great way for the Indian cuisine and also its culture. Amul Dairy Cooperative Firm is held in the Gujarat state. Amul Dairy is well known for its high-quality milk and ice cream products that they distribute in the whole country and consumed by the vast audience. Amul products are known for their unique taste and high quality. Long-life ultra-high temperature (UHT) products for urban populations, like Amul Taza, which are packed in Tetra Pak cartons, undergo UHT treatment to remove all harmful microorganisms while retaining the nutrition in the milk. Amul sells around 4 to 5 lakh liters of UHT milk and other value-added products per day, and forecasts this demand to continue growing at 25%. The UHT products have enabled Amul to position itself as the market leader in packaged milk segment without the need of maintaining cold supply chains. Verghese Kurian and his life history. Know more about the man behind Amul. Dr. Verghese Kurian, the milkman of India. Verghese Kurian, an Indian engineer and entrepreneur, was regarded as the architect of India's White Revolution, which transformed the country from an importer of dairy products to the world's largest milk producer through a system of farmer cooperatives. Kurian was born into a wealthy Syrian Christian family on the 26th of November 1921, Kozhikode, Kerala. He attended Loyola College in Madras, now Chennai, and earned bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from the College of Engineering, Guindy, which at the time was part of the University of Madras. He also studied engineering at the Tata Iron and Steel Company in Jamshedpur, and undertook training in dairy engineering at the National Dairy Research Institute of Bangalore. Kurian received a government scholarship to study at Michigan State University, where he received a master's degree in mechanical engineering in 1948. When he returned to India, he was required, as a condition of the scholarship, to work at the government research creamery in Anand, Gujarat state. At the time, a small cooperative of dairy farmers, the Khera District Cooperative Milk Producers Union, was working to overcome an entrenched system in which small local dairies sold milk to a large supplier for very little money, and the supplier transported the milk to Bombay and sold it at a substantial profit. The cooperative's chairman, Shri Prabhuvandas Patel, asked Kurian to help strengthen the organization. Kurian then became the manager of the cooperative. Under his leadership, the organization acquired equipment to process and store dairy products and proved to be a reliable supplier. In the process, it improved the lives of the rural dairy farmers. In 1965, Kurian became the first chairman of the new National Dairy Development Board. He instituted Operation Flood, also known as the White Revolution, a long-range program with the objective of increasing milk production while both augmenting rural incomes and keeping prices within reach for consumers through the expansion of the cooperative movement. He established the Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation in 1973. Kurian was married to Molly, with whom he had a daughter, Nirmala. Having lived a long, productive life, he died in the 9th of September 2012 at the age of 90 in Nadiad, Gujarat, following a brief illness. In recognition for his relentless service to the dairy and farming communities, Dr. Kurian received numerous awards including the Padma Shri in 1965, Padma Bhushan in 1966, Padma Vibhushan in 1999, Ramon Magsaysay Award for Community Leadership in 1963 and the World Food Prize in 1989. Dr. Korean's lifelong purpose of work can be summed up in one word: empowerment. That is, empowerment of small and marginal farmers and landless laborers. Apart from the milk revolution that he spearheaded so successfully, his work has greatly impacted on the lives of millions of cooperative dairy farmers socially, politically, and most importantly, economically. Origin of Mule. Anand Milk Union Limited or Amul India is an Indian cooperative dairy company, formed in 1948. Based at Anand, Gujarat, it is managed by the Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation Limited, GCMMF. Amul impelled India's White Revolution, which made the country the world's largest producer of milk and dairy products. The White Revolution was led by Tribhuvandas Patel under the guidance of Sardar Patel. Later, Kera District Milk Union Limited was born in 1946. He hired Dr. Verghese Kurian, founder chairman of the GCMMF, 3 years after the White Revolution. Kurian is credited with the success of Amul's marketing. Amul has ventured into markets overseas. History. Amul enlisted on the 14th of December 1946 as a reaction to the abuse of minimal milk producers by brokers or operators of the main existing dairy, the Polson Dairy, in the small city separations to convey milk, frequently turned sour in summer, to Polson. The costs of milk were discretionarily decided. The administration had given restraining infrastructure rights to Polson to gather milk from Kera and supply it to Bombay City. Rankled by the unreasonable exchange prices, the farmers of Kera approached Sardar Patel under the leadership of local farmer leader Tribhuvandas K. Patel. He advised them to form a Kera District Cooperative Milk Producers Union and supply milk directly to the Bombay instead of Polson. By June 1948, the Kera District Cooperative Milk Producers Union Limited had started pasteurizing milk for the Bombay Milk Scheme. In 1973, Amul celebrated its 25th anniversary under the leadership of Tribhuvandas Patel, Moraji Desai, Manibhan Patel, and Verghese Kurian. Later, Dr. Verghese Kurian managed the cooperative with H.M. Dalia. Dalia's development of making skim milk powder from buffalo milk and making it on a business scale led to the first modern dairy of the cooperative at Anand. Afterward, 5 unions in other districts Mesna, Banaskantha, Baroda, Sabarkantha, and Surat were set up. Amul was awarded the Best of All Rajiv Gandhi National Quality Award. Technological improvements at Amul have spread to different parts of India. In the course of the last 5.5 decades, dairy cooperatives in Gujarat have made a financial system that connects more than 3.1 million dairy products with a great many purchasers in India. On September 30, 2018, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated Amul's chocolate plant in Moga, Gujarat. The Amul Girl. The Amul Girl is the advertising mascot used by the company to promote the brand. The brand has been cleverly using the cartoon figure in its longest-running ad campaign, to instill an element of humor into its print ads. The content is liked by the people and results in better customer engagement. This increased the brand recall value for Amul. Hence, the Amul Girl advertising campaign is often described as one of the best Indian advertising concepts. The story of India's most beloved advertising icon begins in 1966 when Dr. Verghese Kurian, who almost single-handedly turned India into the world's largest milk producer, was looking for an ad campaign for Amul butter by the Amul Corporation he had found a decade earlier. He gave the job to Dakana Communication in Mumbai led by Sylvester Dakana. At that time advertising in TV and in magazines within India was widely expensive, so the agency decided to try billboards featuring a blue-haired girl in a red polka dot dress who would become the country's most favorite advertising character. The Amul Girl was sketched by art director Eustace Fernandez. Her first ad described the product utterly butterly delicious, a delightful goofy phrase coined by Sylvester's wife Nisha Dakana and a sign of punny things to come. The first Amul billboard. The first ad was a hit, and the agency suddenly had a popular ad mascot on its hands. The Amul girl went on to star in 5 decades, and counting, of well-loved billboards. And when the agency ran out of things to say about the product, they started referencing current events, just as so many brands do on Twitter today. Verghese Kurian, father of India's White Revolution. As a country, India today is self-sufficient in production of milk. However, the country didn't arrive at this with utmost ease. These were painstaking efforts by Verghese Kurian that India became sufficient to meet its dairy needs, earning complete sufficiency in milk. In 2014, all the dairy majors of the country, along with the Indian Dairy Association, resolved to observe Kurian's birthday, November 26, as National Milk Day. Credited as the father of India's White Revolution in the country, Verghese Kurian was a social entrepreneur whose billion-litre idea, Operation Flood, is said to be the world's largest agricultural dairy development program. It was his efforts that helped in making dairy farming in the country the largest self-sustaining industry and also the largest employment provider in the rural side. India now stands as the largest milk producer around the world for the last 2 decades from being a milk-deficient nation once. It was in the year 1970 that Operation Flood was launched, providing independence to the dairy farmers. More than 700 towns and cities were connected by the national milk grid, which not only helped in closing the gap between milk producers and customers but also reduced price variations. It resulted in helping hike production of milk, increase rural incomes and offer fair prices to the consumers. He is credited with pioneering the successful Anand model of Gujarat to replicate it in other parts of the country. Amul Cooperative is India's largest food brand at present, where no milk from a farmer was refused. Roughly 70 to 80% of the price by customers went as cash to dairy farmers who looked after the overall marketing, the procurement and the processing of milk.